Welcome to the Port Charles Update with your hosts, Mish and Mel.
Hello, is my sister available?
I'm here.
Hi, how's it going?
Check, mic check. 1, 2, 3. I'm here.
I'm sorry, I'm so loopy right now. So loopy. How are you? How was your week?
Oh, it was pretty good. Let's start with your week first.
Oh, okay. So, in my house, we're two parents, two kids, two dogs, and basically the only one who wasn't sick was Pugsley, one of the dogs. Aside from him, everybody had a different thing, a different sickness, had medical emergencies. But everyone else is getting better, even though I'm getting sicker. Everyone else is getting better. And Coco, our dog, thankfully her prognosis is very optimistic, getting better and better. But yeah, a lot of sick people. Aside from all of that, one completely ridiculous thing happened this week. So, keeping in mind everyone's sick, it's still a busy week, lots to do. And I would not stop emphasizing that I had to run a Walmart errand for Jackson specifically because the 30th was approaching. So despite how busy it was, I'm trying so hard, stressed out to cram in this Walmart errand. And so we decide, okay, let's just do it after daycare. We go to Walmart. And as I'm pushing the cart with the entire family, my stomach just kind of turns for a second. And I look at Johnny and I'm like, oh my God, Halloween is October 30th, not September 30th. So
OMG.
I was spazzing because I'm like, I need to get him a Halloween costume because Sarah, our sister-in-law had mentioned something about Halloween on the weekend. And then I was like, oh man, the 30th is actually, isn't it the 31st? Oh my God. Oh, somebody
along mommy problems.
I was very much in denial and very reluctant about mommy brain while pregnant, but it happened during my second pregnancy. And when my coworker told me that your brain never comes back after your second child, I didn't believe her until now. But yeah, so that was my very silly, ridiculous week. I got the costume in the end.
At least you can check that off your list.
Yeah. So in the end, it turns out I was very productive, I guess. But anyways, how was your week? Was it less ridiculous than mine?
Well, in a different way, I guess. We wrapped up week 2 of every day is a different color that you can dress in or bring something to school.
Oh, thank God.
So every night it's a big conversation. Every day she luckily wore what we had discussed. But then if she got home and she'd find another pink shirt, she'd be like, Mommy, how come you didn't give me this pink shirt?
No.
I'm like, dude, we spoke about this and you can wear that shirt or dress any other day of the week. So today was their big picnic multicolor celebration. So she's been excited about it since Wednesday. And that's why I don't tell her things in advance, because every minute of every second of every second, I can't even think. She is asking about the picnic and what the picnic's going to entail and what time they're going to have the picnic and where is the picnic going to be. And Mommy, did you know there's going to be a picnic? It just never freaking ends. So there was a picnic today. It was lovely. She was happy and it all wrapped up beautifully. And wow, it's raining out there.
I know. I was hoping you wouldn't hear that. It's because I'm in the car.
Hey, we do what we got to do to get this podcast done.
I recorded here last week and it was amazing. It was the best me time that could ever happen. This is the closest I can get to going out. Can't get the car started, but I can be sitting in it. So, I hope it's not too loud. I feel like torrential rains don't last long, no?
No, they really don't. They're really short-lived, but I thought it was just really funny. It just kind of added to the atmosphere of the coziness of our conversation.
Oh, yes. So
that was my week. I'm just happy. 2 weeks of every day a different color is now complete.
Yeah, and she got to do her picnic, so that's really awesome too. So there's that. So much to look forward to. You're my preview of what's to come as they get older.
Yeah.
So the one thing that I guess is my my center and my calm is being able to watch GH and getting outside of my crazy a little bit and enjoying their crazy. So I'm thinking,
1000%.
yeah. So there was a lot of like big and also very little things that happened. One sort of, I mean, I don't know if everyone thinks it's little, but what I thought it was little, the whole Robin Jason conversation, I was like, oh, okay, this is happening. But yeah, what did you think about that? It was quite simple. I guess I didn't know that Robin was thinking about the whole Peter situation in such a complicated way.
Well, me neither. And same thing. And for me, on one hand, I like seeing them together because
Yeah.
it's like the history and just
Yeah.
them in a scene together is quite wonderful. It's still new for me to see Jason so connected to his emotions and think so many
Yes!
people
It
together.
shows, right?
Yeah, it totally does. It totally. So that's kind of what I was focused on. So yes, I did hear parts of what she was concerned about, but I just kept staring at Jason and just him stringing together all these words about his feelings and about how he respects Anna and all of the rest. So I just thought he did really great, and I was impressed by his part in that scene.
Well, even more than that, for me, what I was thinking was when he confronted her about Sam and Patrick, talk about massive facial expressions, and I think that's like, is that like the first joke he's ever made as Jason?
I feel
I mean, it was
like
the closest thing to a joke when they said that they would never talk about it again, and then he responds with, I'm buying. Like, basically Robin says to him, let's never mention it again and go for dinner or something like that. And then he says, yeah, I'm buying. And I was like, wow, that was funny for Jason.
it was very light and cute, and like the interaction was very nice.
And the
Very
fact,
not regular Jason.
no, but I like it though. Like, I like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the way that he can evolve in that way. And I mean, even though he became like stone cold, the point is he's still a stone cold that's like aging and going through different life experiences. But just the way that he brought that up. See, I was actually surprised that he brought that up with Robin specifically. And I love those moments that kind of surprise me because I feel like sometimes you think things and then when you see them pop up on TV, you're like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh, that's so cool that you guys are acting or saying things that I'm thinking. And the fact that he brought it up because it was very subtle. It took a long time since his return.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think somewhere it says that he's been back as Jason for like a year now, I believe. And it was
Wow,
only
already.
recently that it came out that Sam told him that she was engaged to Patrick. There was so much else for him to catch up on that
True.
didn't really come up right away. And then this time between him finding out from Sam and then slowly confronting certain people that he would have known, like I think maybe possibly Sunny or Carly. But then to bring it up with Robin, I was like, oh wow, like they really just, you know, went like covered that from beginning to end. They didn't really like let it go or let it slide. So I thought that was super, super interesting.
But I like what you're saying about his involvement in the involvement of his character, because if we look at it like let's say we look at Dad, you know, when we were younger, he wasn't a very emotional person, whatever, a very kind, good dad. But as he gets older, things change, and he's really awesome with his grandkids and really mushy. So it's kind of like watching the Jason character evolve into like this man dad who has
They all
emotions,
are
who has
though, because
feelings.
that's the
It's so funny.
but we've been watching that long that, yeah, like all of our characters that were like so dangerous living on the edge, they all have kids.
Yeah, they'll have to like scale back being like he's a murderer that, you know, a just contact killer with like scale back, prioritize his kids,
Prioritize his
baby
murders.
mama. Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, so it is funny. And I mean, okay, so all that stuff was hilarious. I think for me, the only like major, because I was just like, oh, this is a long conversation. But then what I got out of it between Robin and Jason was that I did not realize that she thought like that moving, let's just say she decides to move forward in having a relationship with Peter. I never put it together that she might feel that that was a betrayal to Jason.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
never put that together. So I was like, oh, I guess it was important that they talk about that. And also, you know, when she brought it up, I was like, that is true. You know, how many people can you speak to that can relate to the fact that your whole family thought you were dead?
True.
Mind
Good
you,
point.
once everyone thought she was dead, and the second time she deliberately chose to leave to save him.
Yes.
Well, whoever she thought was Jason at the time. So
Yeah, it
yeah.
was.
That's it for me on those two.
Yeah, that's it for me on those two as well. I was just like, is there anything else? I kind of like just pause. Like,
Yeah, yeah. So the next one that was also kind of like still minor, like me and the baby switch. Me and you said it's sort of going to be a background thing. I'm kind of wondering if it's moving out of the background a little bit. Yes, it's
I was screaming at the TV thinking about you when I heard he may have a heart thing. I'm like,
yeah.
here we
Because I
go.
because I said it's either comes out through like a medical emergency, but when they said the
Yes.
heart defect, I was like like going through my thoughts, and I'm like, I can't recall. I'm like, Michael must have had a heart defect.
Well, that's what I was
Like,
thinking. I'm
because
like,
there's
I
no,
can't
there's
remember if it
otherwise there'd be
being.
no relation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but I love that Carly, I don't know, I feel like, isn't Carly always around with these
She's
little
always
baby
around. I
things?
love that she's like in the appointment too. Like,
Yeah. Well, I'm glad she got to be involved because there was a point where Lucas kept leading on Sam as a sister, and I love both Sam and Carly. I love that they became friends or found a way to become friends when Jason was gone for a while. But I mean, Lucas for a while was acting like Sam was his only sister when it came to the baby. So I am appreciating some scenes with Carly being like, you have other sisters. Like, you have all of them are pretty much related. It's like 6 degrees or
that's
less in
true.
Port
I
Charles
was
with whoever is
like,
related to each other.
yeah, we should do like a tree.
Oh my God, so incestuous. I don't even wanna. But yeah, so I mean, I'm glad Carly was there. She's great at, she's super great at giving advice. She's very good at being calm, and I just love the advice she gave to Brad. Like, you have to pick your moments. Like, you can cry and scream when you're by yourself, but you can't do these kinds of things when you're in the situation with everybody else.
100%.
So I don't know. I liked the way that she was approaching Brad, but I also loved how she kind of threw in to him. Like, yes, her and Monica were obviously really, really civil during the whole thing, but I loved how when she was giving advice to Brad, she's like, if you feel like breaking something, go ahead and break something on Monica's desk. And I was just like, of course she has to throw in that like little dig.
She is who she is. She's authentic to her character.
That's what I love. I like those little details that make a character them, and it's just like when they react like that, it's just, you could say it's so them. But Matt was that baby cute. They showed him just briefly. I think when Michael was holding him, what squishy cheeks.
So sweet. I kept looking up at him, like, so cute.
Okay, not that I'm surprised, because like between like the hospital and the police department, sometimes they're super professional and sometimes they're not. But really, you're all doctors. Since when do you walk up in public and tell your patient, oh, there was some defects we found in your chest. We're going to find a specialist. Good thing you're still here.
Hanging around the elevator, I'm going to talk so loud so that everybody can hear.
I was just like, seriously? But anyways, I just thought that was really funny. And plus, like, Lucas is also your colleague. You know that he works there, and like, not at all could you afford any type of privacy.
Exactly. I was dying. It kind of reminds me, on like a complete side note, Curtis, when he gives like the wink to the nurse to get the DNA test done, because he was like, could you put a rush on that?
Yeah,
It's like, you can get away with it.
I'm so glad you said that, because I'm like, okay, I can't just spend this whole podcast talking about how like unprofessional and like how loose the ethics are at the hospital. But when he did that, I'm like, you can do that? Just walk in and be like, put a rush on, whatever. You're like a private investigator, like no connection to the hospital whatsoever. I thought that was really, really, I was just like, yeah, that was funny, and I noticed it. I noticed it. So like about the whole, I don't know how it's related to the whole baby switch thing. Do you not love Maxie and Michael?
I really do. I genuinely love their interactions. It's very natural. It's not strange.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a really beautiful scene. She's honest with him. He's honest with her in terms of like, she's saying she understands how he feels. Like, it was just really nice, especially when she was pushing the stroller, and then turns back around, and says like, I understand what you're going through. Like, it was just very sweet and touching and lovely.
But were you watching when they were taking Lamaze and we saw the building of their relationship a little bit?
No, I didn't. You did tell me about it, but I wasn't watching back then.
So, yeah, what I was thinking was, like, he's so Jason and she's so Carly.
Interesting.
But
Very
it's nice.
interesting.
like, I want to see them interact a little bit more, even if it's like just a friendship, because I mean, the way that they're
Yeah.
storing Peter, obviously that seems like the romantic interest that they're pushing her toward. I mean, if she was with Michael, that would be all kinds of weird with Spinelli and all that.
Right.
But
Which there was another mention of him in this and Friday's
I know
episode.
he's coming back soon. I was listening to Stone Cold and the Jackal, and he's coming back soon for some stuff.
Oh, I didn't finish my latest podcast. That's why.
Yeah, so I really, really like them, and that's the one thing. It's just that I feel like Kiki, she lacks interaction. I mean, sometimes it's better than others, but she lacks interactions with her peers. Like, she gets locked into her own storyline people. But even Michael over the years, like, Michael's sweet, everyone knows him, but we never see him be, like, he never got what, let's say, like, Elizabeth, Emily, and Nicholas, and Lucky had. You know what I mean? Like, the friendships. I don't know if he really ever had that. Like, the teenage life, and you actually have, like, friends. Like, I don't
Friends
know.
you
Like,
go out with.
does Michael have friends? Like, now that I think about it, like, he
I
had
don't
his
think he does.
family. He was very much entrenched in his family. And then one day he was a baby, and the next he was, like, running a company.
I know. Okay, so remember, I don't know, like, if it was a year ago, 2 years ago, and they used to do those nights at the bar where they would do, like, karaoke and they would go out and sing and they'd have, like, girls' night out. Like, that's cute. I think they just, like, bring back some
I
stuff
like
like
the
that. Like
friendships,
guys' night, girls' night. Yeah.
I like
Me
the
too.
friendship stuff because it's like, of course we watch soaps for the romance, but they have done the friendship thing in the past, like I said, with like Lucky and all them. But it'd be nice to see, let's say, just friendships, but then also, like you said, a girls' night or like the younger girls of the show getting together and, having a friendship, people to talk to. That would be kind of cool, I think. I'd like to see that.
Me too. I agree.
So
Your favorite.
I know, Kevin. That was so funny. Drinking from that poisoned well again when he was talking to Lucy when she brings up cheating. I mean, I don't understand why she brings that up so often.
I know.
But
She doesn't have to define her yet. It's like always there.
yeah, she
Like,
talks about it an
I
awful
think,
lot.
like, yeah. For
But
somebody who just wants to know what to think about it.
it's just funny watching him, like, just, I don't know, he's just seriously just trying to navigate being Kevin, and he really doesn't, this guy doesn't care, obviously, he's like a sociopath, but like, he doesn't care, but it's just that he's willing to dive into these interactions knowing nothing. Like, even with Franco, like, he just was
I
like,
was gonna bring up
let's,
Frank.
whatever, like, I'll just run with it. Same thing with Lucy, he just runs with it, like, he doesn't care what he doesn't know, and he doesn't really hold back in shocking information, either.
I know. It was just like, especially when I was talking to Franco and he's like trying to give him advice, and Franco's like, but, and then he tries to like spin it to make it sound
I know,
appropriate.
that was so ridiculous. It was funny.
I definitely enjoyed because I'm looking at it through different eyes based on
Mm-hmm.
your opinion on the storyline. So yeah,
I
I'm
still find it,
enjoying it.
it's still funny so far because he's
I
just,
agree.
integrating into Kevin's life and just sort of, not stepping in it all the right ways. It's just funny watching him try to navigate that. It's really awkward, but it got kind of weird. I mean, I guess that's when the creepiness starts to seep in. When he just starts talking about Felicia and when he saw, Maxie, when Maxie went up to the table.
Yeah.
Because I remember you saying, because I remember with the Cassadines, what they did is that Stavros, I think, shifted his obsession from Laura to Lulu. And then we were wondering with this generational thing, was Ryan going to shift his obsession from Felicia to maybe somebody else?
Yeah.
And so you said maybe Lulu because he was looking at her picture. And for a split second, I thought, would he shift it to Maxie? But he still seems quite obsessed with getting to Felicia.
That's true. He's very one track mind at the moment. He's still, I feel like, surveying his options or how
Oh,
he wants
maybe.
to attack the situation.
How he can
Definitely
torture Felicia.
Yeah. Yeah. So it
Oh,
might
that's...
get really strange and weird.
Yeah, I think when he starts to do stuff like that, it's going to get really, really bad and scary. And especially when I think about the fact that I think it was Georgie he used to torture her the last time, which is kind of crappy because she's dead now. And I don't even know if he knows that. I mean, I don't know if he would care because he's a killer, but
I know.
yeah, so that whole thing would just be really, terrible and really traumatic for Felicia. But yeah, so I'm happy it's happening in little comical doses so far. But when he started talking about Felicia, I was like, whoa, dude. Ugh.
I know, are we already jumping into this? And like, we're so, like we've known these characters for a long time. So it's not like we're just starting and watching a movie or something like that. Like you're connected to these characters in some way. We obviously know it's not reality, but you're still so much more
What?
invested when there's a
Oh, yeah.
storyline like that happens. So yeah, I think that's why I'm like a little bit nervous about the storyline, because I feel
I
like somebody
am.
is going to die and somebody is going to be severely traumatized. But again, this is GH. There's a lot of people with probably
You're
PTSD.
saying that to me while I'm in a car by myself in the dark. I'm scared right now. Yeah, I don't want to talk.
Lock your doors.
I don't want to talk
Okay,
about
let's
Kevin anymore.
next.
Let's talk about something depressing instead of scary.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, excited. Okay, so Oscar's storyline. I mean, the whole thing is just sort of building up throughout the week, and I'm just like, Kim,
Mm-hmm.
what are you doing? Like, I mean, I get just because you're speaking in this logical way, and just because you're able to say, oh, know what the consequences are, he'll be mad for a little bit. I'm just like, no, you don't. I think, yes, she keeps saying that she's trying to protect Oscar, and I really believe, I mean, she's in a tough spot, and I think she's doing it the best that she can, but I feel like, ultimately she is protecting herself, because it's one thing to know he is sick, but it's another to watch him know that. And part of me thinks that she's just protecting herself from that.
Yeah, I think a big part of it is that because she was the only one that was doing it for years. Now she has friendships, so it seems like she was by herself before and no
Mm-hmm.
connections to the outside world. So I don't know what town she's living in, but in this town she has a boyfriend, she has friends, she has colleagues.
Yeah.
She has his dad there, and there's so much more support. Yet she still chooses this way of dealing with the situation when she's not the only one anymore that has to carry all the burden.
No, she's not. But it was getting kind of crazy. Like Drew had pointed that out to her. Like, your goal is to have him have a normal life, but the consequence of that is that he is going to get into a fight. I mean, it's not inevitable, but it's not abnormal that he got into a fight. And what was insane to me was, yes, you're friends with Elizabeth, and of course you want to check in with her because her son is involved, but you didn't even finish talking to your own kid before you rushed on the
I
phone.
know.
Because he could
I
have
know.
told you
That
that
part
we
was a
made
bit
up at
much.
the very least.
And she has to figure that this has bearing on him, like exactly that. Her and Elizabeth are friends, but these boys have to go to school with each other. They have to deal with each other. Like there's just a different way of going about it, I would think.
Yeah, I think so too. And I mean, earlier in the week, and I mean, as we all now know, because everybody
Mm-hmm.
listening hopefully watched the entire week, including today. And so earlier in the week, I was thinking, he's obviously not going to find out from his parents, but I had no idea it would be as soon as this week.
I know, me neither. Like I thought they were just like leading into it, especially when Cameron was all grumpy and everything. And
Me
every time he
too.
looked at him, my like heart stopped because I'm like, oh
I
man, is it gonna be
know.
now? Is it gonna be now? And then yeah.
I just didn't know. Like, when he first walked in to Oscar and Jocelyn at the community service thing that they were doing, I did not know what his angle was, because I was like, okay, so you learn this news and then you come and pick a fight with him. I mean, maybe now that we saw the whole thing, do you think he was picking a fight with him at first and being all angry because he thinks he's lying to Jocelyn? Was that why he came at him like that?
I think so. I 100%
Okay.
think that he loves Jocelyn. Like, I mean, teenage loves Jocelyn.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's just like, this guy has this whole good guy persona, yet he's hiding this huge, huge, big, life-changing secret. How dare he do that to this girl that I love? And
Okay,
lead
so
her on when he's not even going to be here. I'm going to kick his ass.
Okay, that makes sense, because even after it was over, I was like, what is happening? And they're like, he's behaving weird. I'm like, well, yeah, of
Teenage
course
angst.
he's behaving weird. I mean, like, twice you made peace with Oscar. Twice.
Yeah.
And then you show up and you just go at him. I thought he was going to approach it in a more sympathetic way, like he tried to do later, like when he was trying to lift the box
Yes.
and help him. I had thought that he would have been overly nice to Oscar when he would see him for the first time. So, I mean, it was really confusing, and I guess that really reflects a teenager's mind, and also Cameron's mind, because he seems a little bit erratic, like he's just everywhere and at the same time. But one thing that caught my eye, and I don't know, but like literally I had a major reaction when Cameron was fighting over the box with Oscar and Jocelyn stepped in, I actually was taken aback. She looked just like Carly. I know they're not really
Really?
related,
Oh,
but
yeah.
her I know they're not really related, but the way she kind of I don't know, her looks and the way she was saying stuff, I was like, whoa, it was like a little mini Carly in that moment.
Well, we do, it's definitely, and we think the trio is going to be similar to an interaction that, Carly had earlier on. But yeah, it is really neat that they're all kind of.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Because when you said mimicking Carly's interactions, right away I was like, Sunny, Jason, Carly. And I'm like, is this a Sunny, Jason, Carly with them? I don't know.
I feel like it's a little bit of Jax thrown in there too, though.
Oh, right. More of a Jackson Sunny trio.
Mm-hmm. Jax, even though he was the good guy with the underlying kind of what he did was for the greater good, non-mob. Sonny was the bad guy who did mob stuff, but he was the good mobster. So
Yeah.
Cameron
Mobster
is
with
kind of
the vote.
erratic, and whereas Oscar has this whole ethical code, but given the chance, what would happen?
Oh man, I really want them both to stay. I'm so curious as to see how their characters would develop.
Me
Um,
too.
I don't know if it's hope. Remember I told you I had hope the moment that they said the tumor was inoperable? But for a split second I had hope when Kim was sharing medical information, of a trial with Drew.
Yes,
Because I think it takes more adults being involved to then get more resources, what would Monica do if she found out what was happening? Would
exactly.
she throw Quartermain money at the situation? Would Drew throw money at the situation? Are you giving him an opportunity to do his own research so he can kind of come to that place that Kim is at?
Well, I think that now that Oscar knows and everybody's going to know, now this is when we're going to see how people are going to react and who's
Yeah,
going to
it's
come
true.
to his quote unquote rescue.
So, Elizabeth. Elizabeth promises that she will only tell Franco if he asks her a direct question. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is a direct question something like, does Oscar have a
Hey,
brain tumor? Right? Which I'm thinking won't really come up. And even in that moment, that scene with Franco, when she was saying, I was comforting Drew, I wasn't actually that wasn't about our relationship.
yes.
I was like, all right, that's an explanation. And then she's
And it should
talking
be
to
enough.
herself. I guess there's something I should tell you. I'm like, what are you doing? You're talking yourself into telling him in that moment. And I mean, I do get it. It's her partner and it's a really big thing. That's the thing. I really think Kim should I can't believe I'm saying this, but to take, you know, follow in a way Elizabeth's example. Even Elizabeth is this outsider. Oscar's not even her son, but it's even too much for Elizabeth to hold by herself. And if it's too much
Good
for
point.
Elizabeth to hold by herself, get a clue, lady. You shouldn't be holding this all by yourself.
Okay, but I love okay, so just to get back to Elizabeth talking to
Yeah.
Franco about the Oscar situation. Franco, he's trying to be his face when he's sympathetic is funny. He's genuinely trying, but there's just something in his expressions that make me kind of chuckle. And then
Oh,
he's like,
yeah.
I won't screw this up. And right away I was like, yep, you're gonna screw this up.
Well, so far he didn't, and I thought it was
He
so
didn't, but I
cute.
really genuinely thought it was going to be him that screwed it up.
I thought it was so cute when first he tries leaving a voice note for Drew, and obviously that's when Cameron kind of
Yeah.
pieces everything together. To be honest, I don't know if I'd be smart enough to piece it together.
Me
If I
neither.
was Cameron,
Hearing half of that, seeing that, I
like,
would think that maybe Drew is I don't know, But I guess you did hear him say, "I'm sorry about Oscar," but I had to replay it twice in order to hear that.
yeah, so, and plus he closed the door, and I'm like, what's happening? Anyways, so he figured it out, so it turns out Cameron's super smart. And, but I love this scenes today with Drew and Franco when he's being like, I have booze? Do you want a hug? It's really funny. It was really cute.
I liked it. Okay, so I had to Google this because I'm still kind of catching up. So he's Jason's twin brother. However, he grew up with Franco. Is this the
All
thing?
right.
Okay, now
That was a disciplinary silence that I gave you. So yeah, so basically Drew, cause I think it was Heather and all that craziness,
right.
separated them and then sold a kid probably. So Franco's mom had Drew,
Yes.
and then, um, so for a long time Franco thought that he was dead, basically she got rid of him because of that guy. Like, she got rid of Drew to protect him. She basically abandoned him, basically. She gave him away somewhere else to protect him, but Franco always thought that she did that to protect Drew from Franco, that Franco was this, like, that he was this psycho even as a child, that he was innately bad. So yes, that's what ended up happening. They grew up as brothers for like 3 years, and then we come to find out that Franco ultimately was just trying to protect Drew when he threw him down the stairs when he was little, and he ended up in the hospital. So Franco actually thought Drew was dead.
Whoa, intense.
Well, she actually lied to him and told him he was his imaginary friend.
Oh, I do remember bits and pieces of
Yeah.
this.
It was a really well done story, though. Like, you're backtracking to tell his story, and it was really well done. And then you could totally see how that story would lend to Drew and Franco having some kind of brotherly relationship.
Okay, yeah, because I find their interactions fantastic. I think it's great because they're both a little bit awkward, but it works.
Yes, and it's uncovering all of that stuff about the past abuse that really allows Drew to let Franco in, basically.
Very interesting. Okay.
Is it really loud?
No, you mean the rain?
Yeah.
No, we're good.
Okay. Just checking to make sure that.
I would tell you.
But it's not terrible. Yeah, so I mean, that's pretty much it for, well, okay, no, that is not it for me on the Oscar storyline. I'm so happy that Drew is finally stepping up a little bit and telling Kim that,
Oh, yes, it was amazing.
that, like, it's either I tell him or we tell him together, because I do think Drew is right about how Oscar would feel. And I also think that he does have an equal say in the whole situation.
I agree, and it's like we've talked about this. I think we talked about it last week as well. Like, Drew is this loving, caring father who genuinely wants to be involved in his life. He has shown no signs of like being some like absent father or any of that of his own means. Of his own life.
Yeah.
So why should he have less of a say now?
And I mean, look, it's not about comparing relationships. Obviously, Kim knows her son. She's raised him forever. But Drew did come in when he was a teenager. And it does allow for knowing Oscar in a different way. And it does allow Oscar to maybe talk to his dad, even though he's close with his mom, in a way that he doesn't with his mom. So in a way, Drew would probably know better, just based on where Oscar is in his life right now.
Absolutely. I agree with you. They have different relationships, and like he knows him in a different way, and it all comes down to he should know. He should know, and Drew's fighting for that right.
I think everyone probably thinks that. I think, it was ridiculous, Kim thinking she can keep that from him. And to also, her attempt at also keeping it from Drew, I think was really unfair. But yeah, I'm just glad it's going to come out, and at least we'll get to, this is what's going to make the storyline really interesting. It was a hard one to swallow when we were first introduced to it, but I think now that we actually get to explore it further, it might actually be a bit more, interesting to see.
I agree.
Because it affects a lot of people. It affects a lot of people. It's also affecting Sam, and the way that she's talked to Jason.
Yeah,
about it.
It's so sad, and she's keeping to her word, but you see how much it's affected. Like she's dealing with it like I think a really relatable mom, even though it's like she's talking to her mom ex-husband, but in a sense that she's relating it back to her kids and what that would feel like, and to make sure that everybody's very involved because things can change. We don't know what life is like.
But I love that he knows that there's something more.
Yeah, and then he respects what she said. Like, I love that she doesn't want to talk about it. He says, like, okay, when you're ready, tell me. But then he knows there's something wrong. Like, I love how they are together.
The only thing I find was maybe I don't know if it's unfair or maybe just unrealistic when she's telling Jason to fix things with Drew. And I'm like, well, what is he to fix with Drew? Because so the way I interpreted everything, Jason was very open to it and felt that Drew and him and Sam were all innocent in this whole thing. Drew has been angry towards him for his own reasons. But Jason isn't really mad at him. And
Jason doesn't really get mad at anybody.
No, but he also doesn't see anything kind of like, anyways, like, I think that he's been respectful to him so far. And even when Drew was talking with Franco, and he was like, well, what would you do if this were you? Like, if you were the one dying? And he said, I would spend time with my kids and fix things with Sam. He didn't exactly, you know, on his deathbed, this guy is not really like, I need to fix things with Jason. Fix what?
And
So
I
I
did
don't
think
really know about that request.
and it was out of character, I find, for her. And maybe that's why he said, like, is everything
Mm-hmm.
okay? Because they never tell each other what to do. They know better. It's
Yeah.
like, live and let live. We love each other. We respect each other. But there's never this whole, like, he would never tell her, like, get along with your dad or
I
try to
know.
mend things with whatever. Like, no, their relationship was never like that. So I think it just lends to the fact that she's not sure how to deal with this, and maybe this is just, she knows that he needs support and he may not have a lot of people around him or something along those lines.
Yeah. Which is why I think, I mean, I know Sam will keep her word. She won't lie, but I
Mm-hmm.
think she'll be happy when the truth comes out so she could freely tell Jason, because I think she really, really wants to.
Absolutely.
But speaking of Julian, it just made me, I don't know, I just thought I knew he was going to go there with Jason when Jason went to go see him. I knew he was going to go there with Jason and kind of just be like protective of Sam
Yeah.
and kind of like warn Jason. I'm like, oh man, don't do that.
So
First of all,
weird.
Sam
Yeah.
would be so pissed off, and I'm like, you obviously don't know Jason. It's not going to work. Like, it's just not going to work.
I liked, was it just Sunny who was saying, like, I should go see Julian? I guess he's kind of like my father-in-law or something
Yeah!
like that. I thought
When
it
he
was so
said that,
cute.
I thought it was really cute. I'm like, he's not actually your father-in-law because you're not really married to
I
Sam at the
know.
moment. But I thought that was kind of funny and obviously maybe hinting at something between the two. I mean, we both know it's inevitable.
Yes.
But yeah, okay, so I do wonder though, like in talking about Curtis, which we're about to do, I kind of wondered if the real Jason would have worked with Curtis. I can sort of see it, but
I can see that.
But it's just that Curtis already is sort of, you know, he has a bond with Drew, and I don't think he
Yeah, he wouldn't.
would break that because he's buddies with him.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah. So okay, is it just because what I do like that in General Hospital they kind of like jump a little bit, like they.
Jump ahead. Sometimes I'm like, did I miss an episode? Or
Yeah,
did I miss
that's
a
happened to me
scene?
before where I think I missed
Okay.
something,
I
but
don't
like
feel
all of
crazy
a
now,
sudden
thanks.
Curtis is with this girl, and I'm like, what? Like they found it.
Okay, so
I'm like,
before we continue down the road, okay, go ahead and then I'll jump in with what I'm gonna say.
well, it's just because the last scene I saw was this constant warning Valentine that, well, you know, no promises will find anything. And then the next scene with Curtis, he's with this girl that he's like, are you Nina's daughter? I'm like, what happened? What did I miss?
So I like that whole scene, but where I was a little bit lost because that's just how my brain works. It's the change out of the cafe. So for the scene with her
He
at
was out of town.
and then this scene with Valentine was paddles. I'm like, way to reuse a set. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh, I actually didn't even notice that because when I saw the new set, I'm like, is this a new coffee shop? And then I realized he was out of town and I was thinking of you. And I'm like, I wonder if Mel's going to get confused with the different sets.
So I definitely noticed the similar furniture, the similar setting, just a very quick change of the
Yeah.
decoratives on the wall.
So what do you think? I mean, based on the fact that they hired an actress to play Sasha, do you think it's Nina's daughter?
No, I really don't want to believe
You
that
do.
it's the answer. I don't want to. I think
Okay.
it's really to throw us off because there's so many people wanting it to be Kiki. I genuinely want it to be Kiki. I genuinely believe it is Kiki. And this Sasha girl, I was not a fan right off the bat when I saw her. I'm like, no, it can't be her. It can't. It just can't. Like, I
But
don't
she
like
rides
it.
horses.
I know, so they must be related. Like, come on.
Oh, I like that she pointed out that that's not a genetic thing, like riding horses.
Like, good for her. She got seen. She got paid. Get out. I wanted to be Kiki.
Yeah, I mean, part of me does, like, seriously, as I'm saying this to you, I can picture, like, let's just say we fast forward and it is Kiki and they're together. I can kind of picture Nina putting her arm around her with this awkward hug, like Nina could be funny.
Yes.
Because they've had a relationship, so I think it would be really cool because Kiki and her have history, and man, would it tick off Ava. Like, that would be the ultimate revenge for Nina, I think, when it comes to her history with Ava.
And
And
it
the
would.
fact,
I know we're, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, it's just, you know, she just talks about how she would respect, like, be kinder to her own child. I don't know.
It was the look. It was the look she gave Ava when she was sitting down. Maxie had left. and Kiki had stormed out, and Ava kind of turns around real quick, and Nina is just staring at her, like darts in her
You
eyes,
think Nina
staring
thinks
at
it's
her.
her?
Well, when I saw that scene, that's what I thought. I don't know if she actually thinks that, but I was like, oh my God, because like Nina kind of pulls things out of nowhere, but the way she was staring at Ava, the way she like really took in that interaction and was looking at Kiki, and then the conversation she had after, I'm like, I wonder if her brain is going there at all, or if she's just speaking to her based on her relationship with her mother.
Well, I thought that's where her brain was going. It was really unexpected for me when she went out there and related her mother-daughter experience to Ava and Kiki, trying to
I
actually help
know.
her. I was really, really shocked by that and thought it showed how much Nina has grown since she stole Ava's baby right from
I
her
know, because
room.
when she said that, I totally forgot. I was like, oh yeah, she did do that. That was weird.
It was, but I mean, her character has come a long way.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there. All I know is that Mama Stella on Instagram also hopes that Nina finds her daughter. So I guess we're going to have to wait and see if it really is Kiki or if it is this Sasha girl.
Yes, my vote or my wish is that it's Kiki.
You know what? Me too. I do want that as well. And so Nina obviously, aside from interacting with Ava, she also interacted with Anna. Did you know that Anna knew that Nina tried to kill Cassandra? I didn't know that was
Oh, I didn't know.
I didn't know that was like known.
No, I didn't know any of that because I'm not familiar with
I
that
know you
storyline.
probably don't know that
But
storyline, but
well, it's like when they were kidnapped, and she's like, da da da, Cassandra. I'm like, who the hell is Cassandra, and why is she so important? So yeah, but I like we've talked about the fact that bringing different characters together just brings another dimension to the story,
yes, I
to the
love it.
interaction, and having Anna and Nina together, especially when Nina starts talking to her, she's like, "Why am I talking to you like in this manner? Why am I telling you this? We're not even friends." Like I
No, they're
giggled.
really not friends. Like they really like she's not like Anna. She does not like Anna.
Okay, I didn't know there was like a hatred there, but just like she started divulging things to her. It's like, why am I telling you this?
Okay, I'm sure you probably will know, but like my favorite moment with Nina and Anna was when Anna was like, I thought Valentine would find a way to win you back, and she quickly responds, he did not. And I couldn't stop laughing. Even Johnny started laughing. Just her delivery of that line was just so amazing.
Oh, I love Nina. She's the best.
Yeah, like she's really I don't know. There's just something about her that I'm just paying a lot more attention to her now and like enjoying her a lot. Also her funny reaction to Maxie and Peter. I guess she thought that was all over. And then to
I
see them come out of the elevator together.
But then they had that great talk at Charlie's Pub,
Yeah,
her
they
saying
did.
that like, you're the one that had the friendship with him, and how do you feel about that, and how do you want to move forward, and how it
Yeah,
affects
she
her.
was
I thought that was like really mature of her to
oh, she
tackle
must have
that.
been holding so much in at that point. But obviously, look, I mean, Maxie told Lulu that Peter's abs have abs.
Oh my God, I was
What?
laughing so hard. I'm like, I cannot believe she's saying this. This is killing me.
Yeah, so I thought that was so funny, like Maxie's conversation with Lulu.
Okay, but then so she has this conversation with Lulu, and I know ugh. Okay, but then so Lulu takes this and then has that other conversation with
Like
Peter.
at
Like,
all, at all.
why are you getting in the middle of this when, like, why is this your problem right now? Like, I know you think in your crazy little head that you're doing this great thing for your friend, but guess what? Every time you try to do this, like, good thing, it always fails. Always.
Kettle black much? I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know, Lulu at one point, it's just it's just the way that she's approaching Peter. Peter right now is a little puppy. Okay? He's a little
Yeah.
broken puppy. And when he talks about wanting to, let's say, talk to Felicia, like talk to the victim's family, she starts being like, you have ulterior motives. Yeah, that he cares for Maxine, wants to be close to her. But when you wanted to do something for your career, you didn't care. Like when it came to her story, she went around Dante, she went around Maxie and targeted Nathan for her story. it's so not the same thing. Peter is wanting to talk to Felicia to be compassionate. And yes, his ulterior motive is mostly that he cares for Maxie, but it's not dangerous. And he's not putting anybody at risk. But it was a weird role reversal because for months, Lulu was going to Peter about advice, in trying to get back with Maxie after their rift.
Oh, okay.
And now she's sitting there giving him advice, but she's not really giving advice. She's basically saying never talk to her again. And you're speaking for Maxie. And so her meddling, I was just like, how can you do that? You literally just had a conversation with your best friend talking about his abs. You know she probably has feelings for him. You know she wants to be around him. Like, I thought that was obvious in their conversation.
Well, because she's not
could
perceptive. Like, Lulu's not perceptive.
She's a journalist. She wants to be.
Remember I said, how the hell did she become a journalist?
Yes, I do.
Why is she
but
journalist? Fast tracked.
Every career. I remember when Lucky became a police officer, that happened overnight. But it's just that, but like, seriously, she was there watching her talk about the abs. She could see the way that that Maxie was talking about Peter. And I'm like, your friend obviously is crushing on him.
Mm-hmm.
What is the matter with you? Anyways, whatever. I'm just like,
but that's
wrong choice.
Lulu.
Wrong choice.
That's Lulu.
Thinking she knows what's best for everybody else and seeing things in her only way, yeah.
Exactly. So it is what it is. Let's move on, because we can just riff on her.
I really hope Chase doesn't end up with her. But anyways, I'm going to move on to what I think is... I don't even want to think about it.
I know. I definitely think
he's hilarious. Super cute. But, okay, Julian... Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about Julian. Well, I mean, we're going to talk about him and Alexis, but he was just really funny this week. He had so many funny lines. But anyways, aside from his, developing his own brand of Julian coffee. So what did you think about Alexis trying to have, him and Alexis's conversation?
I find there's so much undertone of, they still have sparks.
Yeah, they do.
That's what I feel.
They
want to get back together. Not, because, I like him with Kim, but there's just something about him and Alexis's relationship that, she'll say something he knows her so well. And there's just this, especially kind of when they lean in together, there's sparks, but it's just not who they're supposed to be with. But I like the way how well he knows her.
Yeah. I mean, he went to couples therapy after they broke up, but whatever. So I'm going to bring that up again because I just couldn't believe it. Her trying to control Christina by going to see Julian. I'm like, have you learned nothing? How many talks does Sam need to have with you?
Exactly. That's the part that's hard. It's what do you, you just want to push her out the door? Don't you want her to stay this time for a little bit longer? If she finds out that her mom did that, oh my goodness.
Exactly. And the fact that, first of all, between Alexis and Sunny has more reason to be upset, let's say, that his daughter is working for, his enemy, let's say. And even he knows that you can't boss her around, and he knows her enough to kind of know and understand this decision. And Alexis, I'm sorry, she can't even pretend that this is mob related, because finally at the end she confesses that she just thinks it's awkward that Christina is going to work with her ex-husband,
which I think
that's weird. But going to therapy with him, with your ex, that's not weird.
Yeah. Well, we all know Alexis has problems when it comes.
Well, she's controlling. She's controlling, and I guess she really is controlling with Christina. Whereas Molly, I guess she's sort of Molly is so good, and I feel like she's doing things according to what she would approve of, so she doesn't really interfere all that much in her life.
Molly has direction, and Molly is goal-oriented, and she's focused, and she's following a path. Whereas Christina wavers, and Alexis doesn't know how to handle wavering.
But I'm just sort of for me, I'm like, what is that big deal? You guys seem to know that she's lost. Let her be lost. I don't understand. You can't find her for her. I feel like as adults, that should be the one thing that you know. And I mean, is it for a girl that's lost, she did come back home. She's living with her sister, so she has that family support. She's working at a popular bar that's not connected to the mob. I mean, I don't know. She's not doing all that bad. And she left a relationship that didn't make her happy. I mean, she's really not doing all that bad just because she doesn't know what kind of career she wants.
I know, and I agree. It's like getting out of that she felt is like a relationship that was going nowhere, that was just putting her in the back seat. That's a huge step for her to make because she hasn't made the best choices relationship wise either. So that in itself is a huge feat for her to find a career, for her to get a job and just figure out where she wants to end up. Like she'll get there. Like Julian was saying, she's still young. She has time to figure this out.
Yeah, I was just kind of like back off. So before Alexis even gets into the fact that it's just awkward because he's her ex, I'm like, really? Because you go there an awful lot.
I know.
Community meetings are held there, but it's weird that Christina works there. I
Oh
really
my
didn't
goodness.
understand her logic at all. It's just basically more and more excuses to go and talk to him directly is what that is. And I'm just wondering, I got lost when they kept trying to talk about the look in Christina's eyes about being lost. Or no, about hope.
I know.
They were talking about hope
Yeah.
in Christina's eyes for a while, and I was like so confused. I was like, what are you
Well,
talking about?
it was a bit lengthier than it needed to be. Like, she was looking at Julian for this, in such a hopeful way, like, hey, help me get this job. And she just wanted that job so badly. Okay, great. Yeah, you saw that she wanted this job. You gave her the job. We're done.
Yeah. But I thought it was so funny when Alexis walked in. He looks at her and goes, "A cup of coffee and a stack of Bibles," is what he said to her. I don't know if you caught that. It was so funny. And so not only has he delivered a couple of fun one-liners this past week, but he also is Mr. Wise all of a sudden when he was telling Alexis she is her mother's daughter, but she's not her mother. And that is something I think Alexis really, really needs to kind of get through her head.
I like that. I like the way his character has evolved.
Like, I think he's really changing for real because he didn't even tell Ava why he's no longer serving the coffee because she would have loved to use that against Sunny, and he kept it to himself.
True.
So, yeah, so I think that he's really evolving. So, I mean, you have Alexis at the bar, you got Dana, two people that Ava hates a lot, and then she gets slapped in front of both of them, which was hilarious.
Amazing.
Okay, are you not confused? Okay, I'm just saying,
I'm confused why the slap happened, but let's continue.
Okay, so how on earth would Ava know how to get his sacraments taken away from him? I'm just wondering.
Okay, now I remember. Sorry, jogging my memory. Apparently she's very resourceful.
I was like, who would know that? Like, when he was talking to Kiki, telling him about, like, the latest thing to be ripped from him, I was just like, I'm sorry, who would know that? Growing up in a Catholic church, I'm like, what? Like, all these, like, little rules? I was like, I don't even understand because she did not seem religious at all. It was always sort of this, opposites thing between them, that he did this and she would kind of always sort of throw his religion and his faith in his face. So, I mean, I had no idea this girl would know how it worked to get him to go that far. I really didn't understand how she would be like, I'm going to call the diocese. What? How do you even know what any of this stuff is? Anyways, I thought that was so strange, but that's what prompted Kiki to go and slap her, which was
makes
so
sense.
amazing.
I just kind of blacked out for a second there. Okay, got it. Yes, I totally know that, but it was such a wonderful, wonderful scene, and it always kills me how Ava can make her face so stern and mean with her lips so thin. Like
she's so good,
right?
She's so good. But like I said earlier, Julian was kind of like wise-ish with the whole, like mother like daughter, but she's not a mother. But then when I had to rewind, I'm like, what is your advice here? When he's telling Ava that it would be crazy, that it wouldn't be crazy to forgive your daughter who slept with your boyfriend, but it would be crazy to forgive your boyfriend for sleeping with your daughter.
Yes.
And I was like, right. And then she was like, I don't get it. She didn't seem to like understand the punch that of those statements. That they're not the same. Your daughter is not equal
the same weight
to men that you date. Like, it's just not equal.
It was
but
so
I mean,
sad.
I think it speaks to her at her core. Like, at her core, she's really selfish. Like, you can always tell like that she sees Kiki as her competition and never so much her daughter. Like that, the fact that, her beauty meant so much to her that she went to go get all those operations done. But I mean, yeah, I think she sees Kiki in that way, like this other woman as opposed to her own daughter, which is really completely insane. And I just love how it's hard for anyone to have sympathy for Ava. Like, she is, the thing though, like, she's really heartbroken. Like, in her world, this is, of course, it's a huge betrayal. But when you take it, the whole thing into
The big
context,
picture,
even
yeah.
Julian's like, but she was with you despite all the crap you did. Like, this doesn't even compare to the things that you did. And I love, okay, because she kept saying, you know, how could this be an accident? He's trying to argue that maybe it did just happen the one time. And then he said to her, you have been known to be accident prone.
I was dying. When he said that, I busted out laughing. I had to quiet down because the kids are sleeping. I'm like, oh my God, classic.
That was amazing to me. And I just think what's really crazy about Ava, like how you said, how she could turn her mean face on. I also think it's really crazy how quickly she can go from sweet to evil. Like, even when she goes to
Yes.
see Kiki afterwards to apologize, she starts this apology. And I totally get why that is completely confusing to Kiki, because that is her mother. It's either, it's very, you never know which of her you're going to get. And it's hard to take it genuinely because she'll always do something pretty awful that you never think is possible. But then she just turns evil when she sees Griffin in there, which was so funny. So funny. To me,
And then
anyways.
he actually kind of stood up to her without
Yes!
apologizing. And he was actually like, I was like, wow, look at you go. I was impressed with him.
So the whole Kiki being Nina's daughter, I mean, because we're thinking this, and well, hoping that Kiki could be Nina's daughter, I do find it interesting that when Ava, every time, like, the amount of times Ava makes the point of saying, Kiki is my daughter. Kiki is my daughter. I know she's her daughter,
Good point.
but she says it a lot.
Who says it that much? It's true.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I really don't know. So, okay, is it just me, or did you feel awkward and that you needed to look away when Kiki was banging the heater with the thing? It's like,
I was like, this is feeling a little awkward, yes. I
yeah,
definitely
I'm
loved
just like,
her lace tank top. It was beautiful, the color and
yeah,
everything. But I was
it's
like,
like,
who wears that underneath their shirts on the regular?
I know, I was like, she almost made me want to work out how good she looked, but I
Yeah,
stayed
definitely.
strong. I stayed strong. But I'm just like, where can I get into this building? Like, there's this ton of hot, sweaty
Yeah.
people, and you're just like, this is amazing. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
thought it
love
was
that whole thing.
hilarious.
Did you, I mean, look, I have to admit it was brutal for Ava to have come over and seen them together
Yeah.
like that, which was super hilarious to me.
Okay, but okay, before you continue, I love what you said because I'm like, is that like a real thing? She's like, you're both half dressed and the room is so hot. Like, say what now? Like, what is the room being hot because
I know.
they had sex and the room gets hot? Like, I don't understand.
I know. I mean, not only was she just describing the scheme, but she's just like, you expect me to believe, just like everybody watching, that two hot people, because that's how she sees her daughter, and it is how she sees Griffin.
No.
These two hot people, half dressed, she's like, I wouldn't be able to contain myself. And in this hot room, how are you not having sex, basically?
I
Is
was
her
dying. I was
understanding.
like, okay. Because not everybody's you, crazy Ava. Even though they probably would have.
Aside from the hotness, the only informative thing to come out of that scene was I didn't know that she was back in the shadow program and shadowing Finn, her, like,
I
father
thought that was
reincarnate.
exactly.
I
I
mean, I
thought that
wonder,
was a neat
yeah, I
thing.
wonder if we're ever going to see it, because that'll be kind of funny. Be like, is it awkward working with somebody who looks exactly like your dead dad? I don't know. I guess we'll see if we ever see them
Or she
together.
said like something like, "Oh, you remind me of somebody," or just like throw like a little nod to the fact that it's like the same person.
Yeah, I think it'd be, because I remember in the Stone Cold Jacko podcast, I think she said, like, they haven't really been much in a scene together.
Yes, she did say that. So, I think it would be really, because they are throwing in, like you're talking about humor. It's a good point. Like lately, they're throwing a lot of humor. There's those like really stress relieving characters. So if they just kind of threw that line in, well, it's like even Maxie threw a line in when she was with Michael and talking about her son, and you know she just hopes that he doesn't have a man bun, but doesn't her boyfriend have one, like in real life? So I thought that was kind of a,
Yes! Oh my
so
god.
yeah, so I
Like,
thought that was kind of a funny
I
nod
did.
to
Yes. She was super funny. I liked that too. And it was really sweet. Even Michael was like, I'll bring him to the office. I'm like, you're willing to babysit her baby? Where could
I
this go?
know, so sweet. so sweet.
Now I'm
Maybe
torn.
it's like a best friend situation too. Like there's not a lot of
I
guy
want
girl. Like
more.
there's the whole Jason Robin. There's the whole
Yeah.
Jason Carlin. Jason seems to be the center of a lot of girl guy best friendships. But
Yeah.
maybe this is an opportunity for Michael and Maxie so that he has that storyline without the romantic interest. Because
I
every
do
time
want
he gets
that.
involved with somebody, they
They
either
die.
die, go crazy, or like something like this. He has very bad choice in
Yeah,
living.
he's not had a normal relationship at all, this poor thing.
So maybe he just have a normal relationship with a woman outside of his mother.
Oh my gosh, that is so true. That is true. But yeah, I want to see more of that friendship for sure. So is it just me? Because, okay, look, obviously Griffin was staring down Kiki when she was icing herself, which I feel like who wouldn't?
Right.
But I still don't know if he's like interested in something romantic right now based on his, like, it doesn't look that way, but it looks like she's made up her mind. Like the way she was smiling
Yeah.
at him with the beer, and I think she might have had another look when he left. I don't know, but I was just like, well, she's thinking about Griffin.
Yeah, I definitely think that she's thinking about him. I think he's still wavering, and I think it's just
He's
a
so
matter
good. He's like, this is my ex-girlfriend's daughter, and we're maintaining a friendship because that's what friends do. But I like
Oh,
how naive he is about relationships, which would make sense if he was a
yes,
priest, that he doesn't, he's not good at
exactly.
them. But okay, so
Exactly. So it's very true.
I know you love Finn, and you love Finn
I
and Anna
do.
together, but I have to say, I mean, it was a breath of fresh air to watch Anna in a personal setting, so like with Finn and with his family, and just not in a professional capacity. Like, I've kind of had it with her obsession with Peter and all these missions that she takes on in a personal way, as opposed to like the strong agent kind of way. So I
Yeah.
love seeing her in this super funny interaction with Finn and his family.
I love, yeah, I am obsessed with the two of them. I am obsessed with Finn. I love their banter over the menu. The fact that,
Yeah,
like, she's like, oh, they changed the menu. He's like, yeah, between one of the times you were kidnapped.
I
And he's like,
know.
oh,
It's
can
so
I
cute.
order a side of, like, awkward pause on the menu? Like, just the things they throw out to each other. And she's like, if you continue this, I'm going to make you stay for 3 hours at this dinner, not 2. Like, just
It's
their
very quick.
interaction. It is, and you have to like catch everything they're saying, and then just the chemistry with the two of them. So that whole family scene, I agree, was great. I didn't really care for how Chase got a little aggressive towards the whole situation, because Finn, he may not know this, but is a nice guy, and I don't see how Finn would have said no if he had talked to Anna afterwards or whatever. But the fact that he was like so on it, and like, why wouldn't you save our father? Like, okay, give her a
But because
break, dude. Like, it's
he
your first
plays
year with them.
because he plays the little boy real well. You know what I mean? He's referred to
I
his little brother, and he's like showing his dad his badge for reals. But I mean, and also his, like, even his
Good
boss
point.
knows.
Good point.
Haven't you been aggressively pursuing this relationship with your brother? I mean, he, like, yes, I feel like this amazing detective. I feel like he may be the only detective who will come to solve crimes, but he's also this little kid in that other storyline. He's the little brother, and I think it's normal because he has a relationship with his father, and he knows how stubborn Finn can be. And it was interesting, his hesitancy to go to that dinner is because why would Finn suddenly change his mind when he's been so firm against a relationship? So yeah, to me it made sense for him to react that
Okay, well,
way, but you're
that
right.
makes sense.
You're right, because Finn ultimately would have said yes, and I think it wouldn't have been Finn if he didn't consider the ethical, argument as to treating a parent.
Exactly. But yes, I very much enjoyed that scene in comparison to like all the other, like it just kind of, it was a nice little storyline plopped in the
It
middle of
was. It
what
was a
happened.
twist, though. I did not see that coming, him
No, me neither.
being forced to, like, basically interact with not only his family, but with other humans for that matter. That's not really his thing. But yeah, it's getting harder and harder for him to avoid people, to avoid his family. So this, I think, is going to be really interesting. I like that. I would be cool with that family storyline with Finn and with Anna without some of the WSB drama for now. I like her in this personal context, just having her own life, basically. I like that.
Yeah, it is nice. It makes her human and
Yeah.
it doesn't always have
You
to be
know
the
what?
hero.
Yes, and actually for the first time being, would you say equal or maybe background to Finn, like the support to Finn rather than Finn chasing her?
Yeah, I like that.
So the last major storyline of the whole week, the whole Charlie's pub, Mike, Blair, Jordan, and the DA. The damn DA. My gosh.
That friggin' DA.
Oh,
Sorry.
she plays that
Yeah.
character so well because I
Good
think that
point,
because
but
I
I
hate
hate
you
her.
so much, I'm like, you must be doing your job because I hate you so much.
That's so valid. I do think that too. I'm like, if somebody can make me that riled up, you're doing what you're supposed to be
Yeah,
doing. Good
because she's
on
playing
you.
that, like the one thing about her is that she doesn't care. Like she'll come at you like the way she went after Sam today. Like
Oh my god, that's what I was gonna
she's,
say.
she loves it. Like she plays the DA really well because the whole point is you always want to be in people's faces, conflict, you're not exactly afraid of that. And when people come at her, she doesn't really flinch.
No, and she's like comparing Jason and Drew. I was like, I
Oh
am
my,
surprised that
excuse me.
Sam
Are you
didn't
looking?
deck her.
Oh, I was so irritated with her. But before we talk about her some more,
Okay.
just something that's just so much more lovely, Mike.
I love
He's
my.
so amazing. I really didn't know where the story was going when they brought him in at the beginning, but now it's just so hard because I can't picture I can't picture him not being there.
I know he's such an integral part of everything. He's brought out so many wonderful things in Sunny. Um, he's just wonderful. And what made it even better was when he set up that meeting with Curtis's aunt, which I'm forgetting her name at the moment, to make the plans for himself because he loves his family so much. Like that was just
Yeah,
too much for me.
them two together, aren't they cute?
They're super cute. I totally thought I was gonna
Mike
kiss
and
her or something.
Stella.
Yeah, oh Stella, there you go.
They were super super cute. So yeah, so the whole thing about him faking that episode, I mean, this is exactly what I was thinking. Karen SS on Instagram, like she pretty much says exactly what I was thinking, which was it was nice to see him happy and in control. It was really nice to see Mike be able to be a father to Sunny
Yes.
and to really just to do that and have that control. So I really love that scene where he felt like he won and kind of was defending the family. There was also some other people on Instagram who agreed and also liked those scenes. So Jenny Penny 6689 and Miss Elio 2 also really enjoyed those scenes with Mike. They were really amazing. I just
They
don't know if he
were.
can
He's
pull it out
incredible.
again though. So I'm just like keep them away from him.
Yeah, I think Sonny will do everything in his power. Like, and like Jordan said, like, it's not even admissible. Like, why are you pursuing
I
this channel?
know. So whenever they kept theorizing and including him, I was like, what are you doing? Because even you're calling yourself out. Like, just stop. Like, even showing up and trying to aggravate him, like, all that was bugging me. But back to, like, the sweetness of Stella and Mike. So when he brought Stella back in, I wish, like, I am often not on Stella's side when it comes to Jordan and Curtis, but I was
Yes.
full on Team Stella. I wish she had stayed there to know what Jordan was up to.
I know.
To know that Jordan was there and kind of questioning
Yeah, her
Mike and
purpose.
all that and her part in all of that. I really wish Stella found out because she would have ripped her a new one in
Oh
front
yeah,
of
and it would have
Sunny
been
and Mike.
so wonderful.
Yeah. I kind of wish
Maybe she didn't
I saw
recognize her.
that.
She's like, who is this lady?
She's like, yes, Curtis found someone else.
Yeah, because that storyline has died down, so maybe it's just...
I know. Oh my gosh, yeah. So I mean, I'm not happy with Jordan. I'm not happy with the DA constantly trying to include Mike in that whole thing. I don't know. Do you think that Sonny was being, I don't think he was being wise going there without a lawyer.
I agree. I agree. He should not have gone alone. He should not. Jason should have gone with him or he should have waited. Sonny
Yeah,
is not good on his own. We all know this.
thank you. Because he's
Like,
more
why?
emotional. He's not able to sit there and just listen to them the way that Jason would have gone and said
Yeah.
nothing. So Jason not having access to a lawyer immediately, not concerned.
Oh, not at all.
But the thing with Sonny going there, okay, so this is just me. So the DA got mad at Jordan for some reason, feeling that that Jordan undermined her, and I like how
Yeah.
Jordan put her in her place, like the DA should know better. But then the DA
I
surprises
know.
Jordan with, and this is what I don't understand, okay, as the DA. So Sonny is there, and in front of Sonny, and in front of Jordan, you decide to confess that the dead guy is your dad.
It's like,
You're basically now telling everybody I cannot be impartial in coming after
exactly.
you. And two, no offense, but Sonny doesn't care.
Yeah, he really doesn't.
So yes, it had to come out, and obviously her keeping in the secret been horrible. But I mean, I enjoy my Friday cliffhangers. I did enjoy that one, and I can't wait to see the reaction next week. But I was just like, in terms of her case, because she's so professional, how does that help you?
Well, how can she even be able to work on that case? Like, how is she allowed to work on it if it's her father?
Well, basically, she gave Sonny an answer because him and Jason were kind of talking, like, do we know anything about this guy? Now you
I
have
know,
all
eh?
the information. Now you can kind of backtrack and look into the day a bit more to kind of understand and paint a picture of her bias, which Diane can do.
True. It's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds because, like, I can't handle her. Two, it's her father. Not shocker, but now everybody knows, so yay.
But I know, not to be mean, but I just said this the last time. Like, what connection do you have to him? Because it's not even like a relationship that she's developed through her mom. She pretty much said her mom lied about who he was. He left when she was 2. She knew what her mom told her and then discovered some other truths of who her dad could have been through other people.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really understand this vengeance. You know what I mean? It's not the same as when Dante came into things because Sonny had killed the man who was influential in his life.
Exactly. It's not grounded in anything real. It's really
Yeah.
based on some
So
made up.
I just don't have all that much empathy
Oh,
for
do
her.
not. Me neither.
So anyway, so that was it this week. Before we say goodnight, I guess we could tell people about our social media pages, Instagram,
Yeah,
basically. So it's new.
We're on social media now. Maybe we should just be like,
Yeah.
hooray, we're on social media. We
Yes.
have some people that follow us. Woohoo! That's
Yeah.
pretty exciting.
Which are, so some of the Instagram people I mentioned, some of the comments. So we're on Instagram under the Poor Child's Update. And I know we're on Twitter also under,
We are on Twitter at the PC Update.
So you can check that out and follow if you'd like to. And we do have a Facebook page. It's not as populated as the rest. We're working on it. So I guess we'll just keep you posted as we keep going.
So here we go. We're getting into the weekend. I'm pretty excited about that. And another week of GH.
Yeah, me too. Excited.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I'm just happy it stopped raining because the car was shaking during this podcast. So anyways, until next Friday. So have a great weekend. Have a great week. And I talk to you
too,
soon.
lady.
Night, night.
Bye.
Bye.